tell us how your business was before you took it online.
So I was teaching yoga, and specifically pelvic floor yoga, in a yoga studio. And the reason for that was because I had pelvic pain, and I healed it myself, and then I wanted to spread it to other people. So I was teaching yoga once a week, 13 women that were participating because the studio was so small. And yeah, that was basically it. And just right before the pandemic, I was also doing some workshops in different cities. But then, and I had different workshops planned around Sweden, but then the pandemic hit, and we completely closed down in March 2020. And I had different places that I was supposed to go to, but we had to cancel them also.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, so that was basically where I was at. I was like, what am I going to do now?
But you had a full-time job at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. This was my hobby. So I had my full-time job. I'm a political scientist. So I was working at an authority that was helping people to get grants when they were studying abroad, basically. So I had been working there for many years. The yoga was my hobby that I loved, but I had no plan before the pandemic actually to be able to work with that full time. Because if I was going to do that, I would have to live in the studio basically and teach every hour. I don't know, 13 people every hour, like every week, and so
and that
was
would
just a hobby.
Very exhausting, and maybe not a lot of income either.
No, absolutely not at all. No.
So it was a hobby, like also in the sense of what you made with it, revenue-wise.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, yoga teachers is like, can you work as a yoga teacher full time? I didn't know about any yoga teacher was actually working full time with yoga. And if they were burnt out, they were owning the studio, and they were teaching 24/7. And I was like, I cannot do that, it's not sustainable.
So what happened with the pandemic? Why did you consider taking it online and not just like, okay, I'll wait until this pandemic is over and then I'll go back?
So the reason for it was that when like all these workshops that I was going to have around Sweden, when I couldn't go to these cities, I was thinking, well, maybe I can actually teach this on Zoom. So I did that. And then I noticed that I can bring in, double amount of people, of course, because there was not a limited space. So I did that, and I was like, wow, this actually works, and I also had women from the northern part of Sweden. They were like, can you please come and teach up north? And it's like such a like long country. So like, I'm not sure,
Very long country.
I'm not sure I have my my partner at the time, my daughter, I will not be able to travel that much, And then I just noticed that it's very nice, when you have pelvic floor problems, it's very taboo, and you prefer to be at home. And, you don't want to, be in a yoga studio with people that you don't know. It's, it can be like a lot of insecurities and so on. So,
or even worse, you go to a yoga studio and you know everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. You have to be close to a bathroom and so on. So I just noticed this is actually perfect. This type of yoga, it's great to teach online.
Yeah.
And
then you discovered SOMBA Kickstart.
Absolutely. And I did it. It's just funny. I was the one who bought when you sent out the last chance email. I had not participated in any free content whatsoever. You had been sending me emails, but I had not opened them. And then I had a friend of mine who had been working with you, Venu. And then I was just like, Sigrun is sending me emails. Do you think I should join? She was like, absolutely, you should join. And there was a last chance email, and I bought like 5 minutes before you closed the doors.
That is so funny. So just a reminder to everyone, there's a reason we sent out these emails, maybe 5 emails on the last day. It is for people like Frida or anyone else watching right now who just needs that last little nudge.
Yep. Yeah.
And you joined, and you created your free 4-week online course. How did that go?
It went really, really well. Because these women, I had my Instagram account maybe for a year or so before, and I had these workshops, and they sold out really fast. because it was just like 13 spots. So when I went online with this free online course, people had been waiting for it, really. They were like, oh yeah, finally she's going to do something online. So yeah, it went really well. I had 1,350 signups in my course.
1,350 sign.
Yeah.
So these people were not all people you knew before. They were not necessarily on your email list, but it was just the
No,
word got
I
out.
didn't have, I think I had like, I think I had an email list, but I had like 100 people maybe on it.
100 people on your email list
Yeah,
before.
yeah.
So where did these 1,350 come from?
I think it went from, do you say mouth to mouth, that someone tells the other person, and it spreads.
Because the topic is so good,
Exactly. Yeah.
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 And
It's
when
a
the
niche.
topic is unique, it's niche and unique. Yeah. What you call the riches are in the niches.
Yeah. Exactly. So that's what's happened. And also I was growing my email list by 1,000 people, I think, or even more during this when I was creating the free course. So it was great for marketing and for spreading the word. I mean, I had like so many new followers on Instagram thanks to this online course.
Yeah, basically you had only an email list of 100. You got 1,350 in the course. And then while you're running the course, you're still getting people on your email list because people are just hearing about it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So how did then the next step go, the upsell?
The upsell, I was so nervous. I'd never ever sold anything like it. I was selling after Kickstart, I was selling a 10 weeks course. We went deeper and we were also strengthening the pelvic floor. So that my free course was the relaxation of the pelvic floor. And then I was selling another course afterwards. Amazingly well. I had 40 or 44 women who signed up for the next step.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of revenue. I think you have the numbers. I think you know it more than I do, but it was like a 25,000, 25, 26, 30,000 euros. US dollars. Revenue.
And what did you think when that happened?
Yeah, I was shocked. I was like, wow, you can actually earn money when you're teaching yoga. And I was like, this can actually be a really good business.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is 3.5 years ago. And I think I waited like 1 year or so. I was still, I was launching courses like this, working with you. And then I decided to take a leave of absence, or whatever you call it, like a half a year when you try out a business idea. Yeah. And it went incredibly well. And then I decided to resign from work. And that's 2.5 years ago or something like that. Yeah, and I've been working full time with this for 2.5 years.
Yeah, I need to point that out again. I think that doesn't register. Like you had 1,350 people signed up for your free course. You are creating and running the course with all these women, and at the same time you have a full-time job. How did that go?
Yes, this was during the summer of 2020. So I was on vacation, like so to speak, like that. But it worked really, really well. And then I was launching. I was still, having my job, and then I was still like launching in between. But I decided to step down a little bit from work. So in the beginning, I was working 75% at the other job, and then 25% with the business. But the business was growing, and I saw the revenue that I can also get from doing this. And I was like, okay, I have to step down more. So I was slowly decreasing the working hours, and then finally I was also resigning from.
Yeah. But you didn't reduce your hour until you saw the potential.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So you made almost 30,000 within the time frame of SOMBA Kickstart. Yeah. But you are in our sphere of SOMBA Kickstart graduates, probably the one that's gone fastest to 6 figures.
Yeah.
How did you do that?
Wow. Yeah, how did I do it? I had a momentum, you can say, people wanted more. And I also want to point out, that I was thinking before this interview what I really wanted to bring forth here. And it's, the course that I created in 2020 is the same course basically that I'm launching now.
Yeah.
So, I'm launching it again and again and again. And of course, I've been tweaking it a bit. It was a 4 weeks course. Now it's 12 weeks course, but it has 8 modules and 4 more like integration weeks. It feels like a
Yeah.
good, solid.
But the foundation is the
The
4-week course.
foundation is
Get
the
a little bit
same.
goosebumps because you know,
Yeah.
how valuable it is.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I have to tell you also, you know, because I know you like numbers, that last year when I was launching that specific course, the same course I created in 2020, that's now 12 weeks long, my revenue for that course was 90,000 euros for one course, 90,000
One
euros.
launch.
One
One
launch.
launch. Yeah.
One
So
launch.
almost 6 figures. And so all created on the basis of a free 4-week course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really incredible.
It's incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
because there are people that maybe are in business already for a while and they don't understand why they should offer a free course. Like, why shouldn't it be paid right away?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what you just said before, you get such a momentum
Yeah.
kickstart.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like a rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really it's incredible to be able to reach so many women and help them with this issue. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so hard to get help for pelvic pain, and it doesn't matter where the women are, where they're living, they can still participate in my course. And I have women who are from Denmark and Norway, they're also participating. The languages are similar, but still it's not the, you know, the same language, but they're like, there's nothing like
Yeah.
this. So they are joining my course too.
Yeah. So
Mm.
you found this niche. Well, you
Yeah.
were basically solving your own problem. So you are
Yes.
your former ideal client.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm speaking to myself. I know myself very well, how I was at that time. And
Yeah.
also, yeah, I've been like tweaking and making it better, of course, and taking in, you know, testimonial every round I'm doing it. But it's still
Yeah.
the same kind of course. It has the same name and yeah, same
Wow.
thing.
That is amazing. But
Mm.
coming back to the question, you made 30,000 within Kickstart,
Yeah.
and then you 6 figures within 4 months of starting Kickstart.
Mm.
Was it, were you just selling the same courses, like the 4-week
Mm.
course and the long course, or
No,
how was
I was selling then an 8 weeks course that was more about strengthening the pelvic floor. So I was
that?
like
Yeah.
another course, you know, that was strengthening the pelvic floor, but it was also connected to women who had tension in the pelvic floor. So it's not like a regular pelvic floor course. It was more
Yeah.
like you're balancing the relaxation part as well, because that's the unique thing that I really want to bring forth. So I was
Mhm.
launching, I was launching that. And then I was doing also I have these like drop-in yoga classes once a month. You know, I'm doing other things too. I had like the self-study course and
Yeah.
yeah, like changing things and
Combination of things, and together
combination.
all this accumulated.
Yes, exactly, combination. And then also I have this when I have a membership also for those who have done my signature course. So they
Yeah.
can go into my membership, which is like the next step
Yeah.
inner circle. So yeah, so
So
there's
they
like
can
a
stay in
funnel.
your work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that, you know, when women come to you, I always emphasize that you have a customer journey. So they come into your world, they do a course. What is the first course they do today? Like after you've now built it all out?
Mm. The first course, I would say probably like the first thing is doing like, you know, my free content. Now that
Yeah.
is like the foundation then. And after that is probably they take like one drop-in yoga class a month, you know, like that they
Yes.
try out a class. And after that is the signature course. That is the Kickstart course.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
that is the first step. And now it's 8 modules long and 12
Yeah.
weeks. So that's the first like step what they actually buy.
Yeah. And that's where the big transformation happens.
Yeah, and that's also absolutely, and that's also the course that creates the most revenue and is like the best results because it's also like the biggest course I have. Like we go deep, like the deepest course I have.
Yeah.
Also.
And after that, they can come into a membership.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. Frida, you did this with a full-time job. Just need to emphasize that. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
build a business so fast. How did
Mm.
this change your life?
Oh wow. Oh wow. Like where to start? Hmm. I have upgraded my apartment. So I live in a like a beautiful apartment. So money-wise, it's been really amazing. And I've been able to, you know, when when I work during the day and my daughter is at kindergarten, I can pick her up earlier than,
Yeah.
you know, because otherwise if I were working like 8 to 5, I would not be able to pick her up. So now I can pick her up at like, 8, like she can go from 9 to maybe 3:30 or something like that. I have more time for my daughter. I can like during the day I can go and swim. I can like go on my crawling course in the middle of the week, which is amazing. Last year me and my family spent 3 weeks in Spain. I was working from Malaga. That's also amazing. And also increasing my salary also, of course, if I compare to when I was working 100% at this authority, and now I increased my salary with 2,000 euros per month, increased it when I quit the job and working.
So you're earning a lot more,
Much
and
more.
you've been able to upgrade your whole life.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Frida. Oh, it's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. You've inspired so many that just have a hard time believing that this is possible, and they need to hear it directly.
Yeah, and
So,
especially in a niche, like yoga, that kind of field that people are just selling hours and hours, and they go to a studio and they're teaching during the evenings, and they cannot be with their families because they're in the studio. So I think that's really beautiful to as a yoga teacher to be able to bring this out. Reach more people.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for your help. Thank you for
Thank you.
Kickstart. Thank you, Sigrun. Thank you.